Alright, so guys, you can practice. So along the way, I will say you can pause the video and then you can go and identify the pattern as a practice. Okay, so in this example over here, guys, you can actually look out for the bullish FS, false bottom scenario, right? False bottom FB scenario, false bottom. Here again, let me draw a bullish FS. Again, also a false bottom scenario. So guys, you can pause the video and go and practice first before I go through. Okay, so let's say now you have done practice, right? And then let me just go through this. So yes, correct. This is a swing low level. This is a key. You can call it a swing low, right? Or a LP level, right? Or LP level. So price action actually trade below. But how does he trade below, right? So for this false bottom, right, guys, right? This is actually a first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, right? Fifth bar, sixth bar. So this formation actually take up to 6 bar, right? The first 2 bars is your inside bar. You know there's a mother when there's a baby. The third bar, fourth bar did not do anything, it's still within the mother bar range. But by the fifth bar, it goes below the mother bar range. It was only confirmed with a bullish EXE, which is this is a bullish markup bar. Okay, as a bullish markup bar, right, on the 6 bar. So like I mentioned, our guideline is 5. I think 6 is still okay, but you are stretching it already, right? So if I have an example that is less than 5 bars, I will choose the 5 bars one, right? If I don't have any more setup, then I only have this number 6 bar, then I will consider this. Okay, but don't go beyond the 6 bar guideline. Okay, so this is a valid bullish FS false bottom scenario. So once again, you have this, right? Oh, I draw this line already. So let me use another color here. Right, this is and this becomes your swing low. Okay, and the price action actually goes all the way down, bridge this low and go to this low. So which one do you use, guys? You use the A or the B, or B as a swing low here, B here. So guys, take note, you can write this down, right? You always use the most extreme LP that's being forced. So in this case, price action go below B and then go straight to A. Okay, so you will use A instead as your swing low in this case. Okay, so I will not use B because it has breached B and then goes to A in this example. So A will be my LP level. So what's interesting is that, right, I can see that the false bottom was actually created by the bullish FS formation. So how do I know that? It's because, as you can see over here, mother bar, baby bar, right? I only know there's a mother when there's a baby. The third bar goes below the mother bar low, but did not, even though the third bar caused the false bottom scenario, but it did not close back in within the mother bar range to confirm the bullish FS formation. It was the fourth bar. So the fourth bar is actually a bullish pin bar. The bullish pin bar, right, is the one that confirms the bullish FS formation, and there is a false bottom scenario. So you can actually trade this, right? Put a stop loss somewhere here, enter it here, and you should be able to easily get your at least 1:2 target. So this is a valid bullish FS false bottom scenario trade. And you also have over here, right, guys, right? So you can pause the video again, right, and find out the bullish FS false bottom, right? Bullish FS false bottom scenario below. Okay, right? So let's say now you're done identifying it. Let's see if you got it here, right? So you can see that yes, there is a flush down here. So take note now, guys, when you're trading bullish FS or bearish FS, you don't need, it's optional to have a flush down or flush up. Okay, it's optional, right? If you are looking at the DR1 strategy, you know that you need a majority flush, or UR1 strategy, or understand you need a majority flush. But for bullish or bearish false strike, it's optional. Optional means you can have a flush or that creates the false bottom or not a flush. Okay, so in this case, right, there is a flush down, right? And that I know that this is a key swing low level. Okay, this is a key swing low LP level. And then the price action actually goes all the way down. But what's interesting about this is that I know that this is number one, number two, right? There's a mother bar because there is a baby bar, number one, number two. The third bar, which is a bullish, third bar is a bullish pin bar that confirms the bullish FS formation, and it's also the one that caused the false bottom scenario. So basically, any parts of the bullish FS, as long as it caused the false bottom scenario, is valid. Okay. However, in this case, if you put your stop loss exactly at the low of the bullish pin bar, you will get stopped out by this bar. Understand? You will get stopped out by this bar. Okay, this bar that I mark out. So the thing is that, as I mentioned in the earlier lesson, in the 4 strike continuation lesson, right? This is an example of a re-entry. So you can re-enter, right? You can count the first bar that stops you out as number 1, and you can re-enter if another bullish EXE forms within 5 bars and also forms as a bullish EXE. So in this case, right, this is the bar that stops you out. If you enter based on this pin, I call this bar number 1, right? The bar that stops you out is the first bar. By the second, third, fourth, or fifth bar, there must be a bullish EXE, right? So in this case, right, it is the second bar. This is actually the third bar, right? The third bar, this is sorry. So just let me mark this out clearly. This is the third bar, which is a bullish markup bar. So this bullish markup bar is the bullish EXE that forms, right, as a re-entry that close at or above the LP line as well. So this line, it close again at or above. So this is a re-entry that you can take, right? Right. Of course, now the swing low will be different, right? So let me draw it in purple. The swing low will be somewhere here instead, right? Because now it creates another lower swing low. You can use this as a reference for your stop loss entry somewhere here when the bar form, and you will be able to make back a lot more than you previously get stop out, right? So in trading, there's a lot of times when you may have to do a re-entry. And also, guys, take note, as I mentioned in the earlier lesson, that if you do a re-entry, do it once and that's enough, right? If you re-enter and you get stop out again, then stop and move on to the next setup. Okay. All right, so this is an example of another stock called Momo. Right, Momo is a stock that I enter based on this false bottom, and I'm making a lot of money in this stock. Is basically, right, creates a lot of panic, right? A lot of deep trader who hold this stock is very depressed because the stock price keep going down, right? Keep going down, right? However, right, somewhere around here, I saw a very interesting setup which gives me confidence to trade against the negative sentiment. Okay, so what happened here is that I draw this line here, right, guys? And you can pause this video here first, right, to find the bullish FS formation. Okay, you can pause this video and find the bullish FS formation first. So let's say now you are done, and I'm going to go through it here. So this line will be your swing low, right? Your swing low, or we call it your LP level because it's a swing low that not yet breached by any price action when you are standing over here, right? When you are standing over here. So what happened is that, right? What happened is that you have a very interesting, right, mother bar, baby bar. So you only know there's a mother when there is a baby, agree? Because the baby is still within the mother bar range. But on the third bar, the bar that goes below the mother bar low close back up as a bullish ice cream, ice cream bar EXE, right? So it creates like a kind of a force break to the low and immediately close back up, right? Those who turn short or cut loss, the market turns back up and close at or above, right? At or above the LP level. So this confirms the bullish FS false bottom scenario. So trader will take this, right? Put a very tight stop loss entry somewhere here, right? They will be able to get a very nice risk reward in this trade. Okay. Of course, if you have fundamental conviction on this particular stock, right, you can continue to hold this, right, since it's already at I think a multi-year low, for example. Okay, so these are some, we use technical sometimes to enter on fundamentally sound stocks or growth stocks, right, at a very early stage before they even recover and stay above the 50 SMA. Okay, so that's how I will use the technical patterns to enter on stocks like Momo. So we also have Facebook over here, right, guys? Facebook over here, right? So again, right, guys, it's a bullish FS false bottom scenario. So again, you can pause the video first before I go through. Okay. So once you are done, let's say, right, I really drawn in the LP line to give you a clue of where is the bullish FS formation. So you can see that, right, this is what we call the swing low or the LP level, because it's not yet breached. If you are standing over here, right, we are standing over here. But what's so interesting about this swing low is that I was monitoring Facebook over here and it was whipsaw. The price goes down, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, right? But what's really happening here is a very subtle price action signal, right, called the bullish FS. So you can see that this is actually the mother bar, baby bar, right? Mother bar, baby bar. So I know there's a mother when there is a baby, because this bar, the second bar, is within the mother bar range. This is the third bar, and then this is the fourth bar, right? The fourth bar is a bullish markup bar. So this bullish markup bar, right, actually confirms the bullish FS formation because it closed back in the mother bar range as a bullish EXE. And there was a false bottom scenario because price action traded below first, right? Traded below the LP, right? And even though this bar, right, looks like it was scary off, but if you put a stop loss somewhere here, you should be okay, right? And eventually the price went up higher, right? And if you have long Facebook in these kind of levels, you can hold it much longer, because we all know that Facebook is fundamentally sound stocks, right? It's one of the top internet companies, right? Like Apple, Google, Amazon. Okay. Right, and also to share with you, right, this is the index, the Dow Jones Index Futures, for example, right, which gives me a clue during the time in 2017, right, that that the sell down is going to come, right. I don't call it really a bear market, but it was a temporary small mini sell down in the market, or a mini bear market. Okay, so you can see that what is the precursor to this overall sell down was actually what happened, right, when the market goes above this swing high. When the market goes above this swing high LP level, you can see right over here, right, this is the mother bar, baby bar. I only know there's a mother when there is a baby, right? And then the third bar is a bearish pin bar, right? The bearish pin bar closed back below the LP line and within the mother bar range, and this confirms the bearish FS false top scenario. And this eventually, right, the price action goes back all the way down before there is a false bottom to push back up the price, right? So markets are very typical, right? They always reverse in trading language, high probability of reversals when there is a false top or false bottom scenario. So we also have Prudential over here, right? Prudential, as you can see, right, right, you can actually pause the video, right, to find the bearish false top scenario, right? You can pause the video and find this bearish false top scenario in this Prudential stock. So let's say you're done, right, and let's dive inside here and take a look, right? So you can see over here is a very subtly, right, you can see that this is a swing high. This was a swing high, right? And you can see that this is the first bar, second bar. So the mother bar, baby bar. I only know there's a mother when there's a baby. The third bar did not really go above the mother bar high or above the LP line. It was the fourth bar. The fourth bar, you can see over here, right? It very subtly trade above the LP line and then also above the mother bar high and close back down below the LP line and also within the mother bar range, right, to confirm the bearish FS false top scenario. It's a very subtle bull trap. It's like trader thought that prices is going to go above the resistance level, right? They go and buy that, but immediately price action trades back down, right? And then what happened later on was very drastic, right? All the those who have bought in, right, would have a panic sold at a panic sell, or those who have shorted will have made a massive gain, right, in their positions. So this is an example of a bearish false top scenario for Prudential. So guys, so this is an example of Domino Pizza. So I know that everyone will know what Domino Pizza is. So this is what happened on the price action. So you can see over here, right, there is a, I draw this line over here. Basically what happened is that there is a bearish FS false top scenario. So you can pause the video and practice first, right? But I give you the clue, I draw the line there. So let's say you have found, you have practiced and this is basically what happened at this swing high level here, right? This swing high level or your LP level. But basically what happened is that you can see that this is the number 1 bar, number 2 bar, right? And there is an inside bar formation because there is a baby bar that's within the mother bar range. So we call this an inside bar. But what's interesting is that there was a break above of the mother bar high by the 3rd bar, and by the 4th bar there is a bearish markdown EXE. There was a bearish markdown EXE that closed below the LP line and also within the mother bar range, which confirms the bearish FS false top scenario. So trader can put a stop loss at a high, for example, and entry within the sweet spot. You should be able to get your 1:2, right, before the price reverses. So this is a good example of a false top scenario here. And we also have OCFT, which is a China cloud company that's being listed in the US. So basically, right, it when IPO, I think in late 2018, right, the price goes sideways and then there was a pump up in the price. But what happened later on is the price slowly grind down, right? And I was watching this very carefully, right? And at this level, right, at this low, right, at this swing low level, guys, at this swing low level, right, very subtly, right, there was a bear trap, right? You can see that here at this swing low LP level, right, this is the first bar, second bar. So this is what we call a inside bar formation. So at the low of the mother bar, right, the 3rd bar here is the bar that goes below the mother bar low, right, and the bar that closes back within the mother bar range as a bullish markup bar, right? And there was a false bottom scenario. So even though this red bar like scares you off, right, but if you put a stop loss at the lows here, entry within the sweet spot, you will not be threatened. Okay, in fact, I made a lot of money when the price later on rebounds, right, and even make much higher highs, right, in this stock. So this is an example of a bullish FS false bottom scenario. Okay. So guys, this is an example of car auction services, KAR, over here. So this is another example of bullish FS false bottom scenario. So again, right, I give a clue, I draw the line there, right? But you can pause the video and practice identifying the formation. Okay. So let's say you're done identifying. Okay, so this is at the $13.66 here will be your swing low LP level, your swing low LP level, right? And then you can see that price action went up and then sell down, right? This is probably due to earnings. So sometimes earnings creates all this kind of opportunity where the market maker used earnings as an excuse or headline news and as an excuse to do this kind of false bottom scenario. But sometimes there is a bad news, right? But eventually, let's say after the false bottom, price goes back up, right? So what we do is we do not predict the market or predict the news, right? Because it can be a binary event or the earnings. What we do is we after this kind of events happens, we position ourselves by looking at the price action signals. So in this case, right, I know that this is number 1, number 2, right? This was a baby bar. Number 2 was a baby bar because it's within the range of the mother bar, right? It's within the range of mother bar, so we have an inside bar formation. On the third bar, right, the third bar is the bar that goes below the mother bar low and also below $13.66, as you can see over here, right, the LP level, right, and also close back within the mother bar range as a bullish pin bar. So there was a false bottom scenario and a bullish FS formation, which is a signal for us to take action, right, on a bullish FS false bottom, right, and you would be able to easily get your 1:2 target in this car example here. Okay, so guys, I hope you are finding it useful learning this high probability false strike for reversal trading. So this goes hand in hand with the false strike for continuation trading. So it gives you more tools to identify scenarios to trade in uptrend retracement, downtrend retracement, and also when the market is above or below the 50 SMA in a false top or false bottom scenario. All right, so I hope you guys love this strategy because I personally trade a lot using this strategy as well. Right, so I hope you guys find it useful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.